When I casually asked about the wedding date, my daughter-in-law smiled and said, "Oh, we got married yesterday." In that moment, my heart dropped, not because of the wedding, but because of what it revealed. My name is Eleanor Brooks. I raised my son, Michael, as a single mother after his father passed away. We didn't have much, but we had honesty, respect, and a deep bond. Michael grew up to be responsible, caring, and independent. So when he told me he was engaged to a woman named Clara, I trusted his judgment. Clara seemed polite during our first meetings. She spoke softly, always smiling. She told me they were planning a small wedding and were still figuring things out. I never interfered. I believed weddings were about love, not control. One afternoon, while having tea together, I asked gently, "So, when is the wedding?" She looked up, completely calm, and said, "We got married yesterday." I laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. But she didn't laugh back. "You got married?" I asked again, my voice shaking. "Yes," she replied. "It was a private ceremony. Very sudden. No invitation. No phone call. No message. Nothing." I congratulated her, of course. I hugged her. But inside, something cracked. Michael, my own son, hadn't told me. I went home that night replaying every conversation in my head, wondering what I had done wrong. Had I been too strict? Too distant? Or had I been quietly pushed aside? The next day, Michael finally came to see me. He avoided my eyes. "I didn't know how to tell you, Mom," he said. That's when I realized, this wasn't just about a wedding. It was about being erased. Michael tried to explain. Clara's family believed weddings were private matters. They thought parents complicated things. They wanted everything done their way, quickly, quietly. "But I'm your mother," I said softly. Was I such a burden? He looked down. "They said you wouldn't understand." That hurt more than I expected. Over the following weeks, I noticed changes. Michael visited less. Clara controlled conversations. When I suggested a small family dinner to celebrate, she smiled politely and said, "We're very busy." I felt like a guest in my own son's life. Then one evening, I overheard a conversation I was never meant to hear. Clara was on the phone with her mother. "She's harmless," Clara said. "Old-fashioned. She doesn't need to know everything." Harmless. That word echoed in my mind. I realized something important: silence had made me invisible. I wasn't angry, I was awake. I decided not to argue, not to beg, not to demand respect. Instead, I invited them both for dinner. A simple meal. No drama. During dinner, I asked calm questions. About finances. About future plans. About values. Clara answered confidently. Michael stayed quiet. Then I said something unexpected. "I've updated my will." The room went silent. I didn't threaten. I didn't accuse. I simply stated that honesty and respect mattered deeply to me, especially in family. Clara's smile faded. That night, Michael stayed behind after she left. "Mom," he whispered, "I think I made a mistake." But the real consequences were still coming. A week later, Michael returned alone. He told me everything. Clara and her family believed parents should have no influence. They rushed the wedding to avoid emotional pressure. They thought excluding me would make life easier. Instead, it exposed everything. "I realized," Michael said, "that if she could erase you from such an important moment, she could erase me too." He moved out that same week. The marriage didn't last long. Without secrecy, it had nothing holding it together. As for me, I didn't celebrate. I didn't say, "I told you so." I simply held my son and reminded him that family isn't about control, it's about respect. Sometimes, the most painful moments are the ones that open our eyes. And sometimes, silence teaches louder lessons than anger ever could. If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe, because respect within family should never be optional.